Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back again for the last stock pick of the day video for this week. It is March 23rd. Today we are going to cover Huntsman out of the materials sector. Let's jump right into the video. Huntsman embraces the entrepreneurial spirit of our founder, John Huntsman, and his core values of honesty, integrity, respect, and responsibility. For 50 years, our employees have been using science and ingenuity to create innovations that play a critical role in the everyday lives of many millions of people. As a global chemicals company, Huntsman's work forms the building blocks for countless consumer and industrial products that are part of your everyday life. And what are those products, you may be asking? Well, you can check them out at www.huntsman.com and see for yourself. And just a quick overview, if you click on the top of their homepage tab at markets that they're in, they provide materials for aerospace and defense, automation, robotics and engineering, automotive and transportation, building and construction, cold chain, elastomers, electronics, energy, footwear, furniture and bedding, industrial manufacturing, sports and leisure, and their materials are adhesives, battery materials, and coatings. And if you go to their products tab, they have a ton of products. So again, probably some of the materials or stuff that you buy in your everyday lives may be using the material that is provided by this company, and you may not even know it. So go ahead and check them out. Again, www.huntsman.com is their homepage. Now, we are talking about Huntsman Corporation, ticker HUN, again out of the materials sector. And the reason we are looking at them down, like a lot of companies today, down 2.68% on the day, closed out the day at $26.67. Looks like they are down a little bit more in the after hours here, at least whenever I pulled this information just after 4 p.m. 52-week range as low as $23.54, as high as $40.62, so creeping closer to that 52-week low. Average volume of 2.2 million. Today's was 2.5, and you can clearly see that sell-off. And again, today was pretty much a lot of red in the market, and I think most everything sold off today. I think everyone's settling into the Fed rate hike and the prolonged recession we are already in my opinion, even though they haven't admitted it yet. Market cap is $4.898 billion. Beta of 1.7, and for those who don't know, beta is basically the volatility of the market. One is even, that's the market. Anything below 1 is less volatile. Anything above 1 is more volatile. Price to earnings PE ratio is $12.29. Earnings per share is $2. EPS is $2.17. Next earnings date is sometime between April 26th to May 1st. Their forward dividend is 95 cents on the year. They do pay out quarterly. We'll see that here in a moment. Very nice dividend yield, 3.4% here. Their ex-dividend date was March 14th, so if you bought them now, you would not get their next dividend. You'd have to wait for the following. And their one-year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, where I pulled this information, I am not affiliated with Yahoo Finance, just one of the sources that I like to go to. They have a target estimate for the stock price of $30.94, so that speaks to some potential upside appreciation from where the stock currently sits. Now, again, I always tell you, you want to get in here and look more deeply at these companies. So get into the statistics, get into the financials, go check out their homepage, look at the products, make sure you understand the company overall. Remember, you are not just buying stocks, you are buying a piece of the business. So understand the business, understand the fundamentals of the business. Are they making money? What do their earnings look like? What do their margins look like? What does their debt look like? What is their assets to debt ratio? Do they have enough assets, and are they making enough money to pay off their debts? That sort of thing. Is their cash flow increasing over time or decreasing? You want to know that. Are their sales increasing over time or decreasing? You want to know that. So some of the things I like to look at, just again on a high level, you can look at, go to the statistics down at the bottom, you'll find their 5-year average dividend yield. I look at this just to give me an idea, a quick measurement of whether or not I even want to look further into a company. If their 5-year dividend yield is their 5-year dividend yield currently 3.27, and then you look at their current dividend yield or their forward annual dividend yield, right? They're saying their forward looking is 5.04, their current is 3.4. So if their current dividend yield is higher than their 5-year average, which it is right now, it speaks to some potential upside appreciation. So the company is undervalued. If the 5-year or the current dividend yield was lower than their 5-year average, then it would speak to overvaluation. They're inversely correlated, right? So 5-year, look at the 5-year average. If it's higher, that's a good thing. That means it's potentially undervalued. If it's lower, that's not necessarily a good thing. It means it may be overvalued. Another thing I like to look at, go in the financials. I want to see the free cash flow is growing over time. They pay the dividends out of free cash flow. They pay their debt out of free cash flow. So you want this to be growing over time. 2019, they were sitting at 623 million. Had a down year here in 2020, so you might want to look and see what's going on there. Did they pay off a bunch of debt? What was the issue there? Back on track here in 2021, back to 610 million. 2022 was 642 million. So overall, from 2019 to at least last year, there is some growth there. And, you could call it flat if you wanted to, but at least they're continuing to grow over time, which is what you want to see. And I always recommend more than one source. So another one that I like is stockanalysis.com. Not affiliated with them either, but they did have 25 stock analysts that take a look at this. They call it a consensus buy, though it is right on the edge of the hold there. Again, if you looked at stockanalysis.com and went to their homepage, you'd be able to click on each one of these and you'd be able to see how many called it a hold, how many called it a buy, strong buy, a sell, or a strong sell. So based on the 25 analysts aggregate, their average, they're calling it a buy. But again, right on the edge of that hold there. And their low estimate, at least according to Stock Analysis, is $25.25. They are just above that. So if they hit their low estimate, that would be a 5.32% decline from where it currently sits. Their average estimate is $31.78. That would be a 19.16% increase in the stock price. And if it happened to hit their high of $39.90, that would be a 49.61% increase in the stock price. All the while, you'd be collecting that 3+% dividend yield that we saw on the previous page. And if you got them lower, obviously it would be higher. Now, another one I like to look at here, again, go into statistics, financial, some of the same information, just given to you in a different way on a different site so you can make sure that it's accurate, the information. That's what you're doing here. Look at 2, 3, 4 sources so you can back check to make sure the information you are getting is accurate, right? Some of these sites go on different timelines. They update differently. You just want to make sure that you're looking at accurate information. So another one I like to look at, going to the statistics here, and I like to look at return on equity and return on invested capital. And I like 10% or above for both of these. Some others, not so much. Banks, for example, tend to have a low return on invested capital. So maybe compare, if it's below 10, compare it to its industrial standard. What are other companies similar in nature, and what are their return on invested capital, or what is their return on equity? For this company, Huntsman Corporation, their return on invested capital is 10%. And their return on invested equity is 11.60. So I like both of those numbers. They're both above my 10% threshold, right? And lastly, this is where I would show you my position if I had one. I do not have a position in Huntsman. It seems like a very similar company to LyondellBasell, which I do own in my portfolio. Though some of the things that are nice about it, I went back, I didn't snip it here, but I went back all the way to 2013. So they've been paying a growing dividend, or a dividend, since 2013. It's been growing lately. You can see here at December 14th, 2022, they paid out 21 cents and some fractions of a penny. They jumped it up in March 14th, where they paid out $23 and some fractions, or 23 cents and some fractions of a penny here. Their pay date looks like it's going to be March 14th was the ex-dividend date, and their pay date is going to be on March 31st, so right at the end of the month. Real low payout, 37.10% payout ratio. Anything under 75% I like to see. Dividend growth is sitting at 12.90. So low payout, high growth. Looks like the metrics are starting to get attractive. I would wait a little bit on this one. If it pulled back closer to that 52-week low, the $23 range, right in there might be where I'd look at this one. Again, this one is not necessarily one I'm looking to add, but it is something in the material sector similar to a LyondellBasell company, which in my opinion, if I was going to add anything, I'd just add to my position in LyondellBasell rather than adding a new position. But worth a look if you're looking for something in the material sector. Looks like they've been around for 50 years, so another one that has seen some downturns in economic turmoil, so probably can ride out this storm as well. And that's what we want. We want to be investing in stocks for the long term and collecting those dividends along the way. Well, as always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button down below. Join me on this journey to financial freedom. And if you have not started your own brokerage account, there is a Webull link down below. If you use that link, sign up for your brokerage account today, drop some money in there. You'll get some free stocks. I'll get some free stocks. It is a way to help out the channel. But like I said, hitting that thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, subscribing to the channel, dropping a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Those all help out a small YouTube channel like me as well. So do all those things. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, hope you have a great week and a great weekend. Tune back in Sunday. I will have my portfolio update. 7:30 a.m. typically comes out every Sunday morning. You'll see what I bought in my portfolio this week, what I sold, if I had any dividends that paid out. All that information is right out in the open. So if you're interested in that, again, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing. It really does help out my channel. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and temporary purposes. Investing involves risk and money. You should never invest any amount not comfortable losing. Always do your own research. Invest based on your situation, circumstances, and selected criteria, or seek the advice, counsel, or a certified financial advisor.